Hey now, all right, Rob here, Rob School of Music, and we are hanging out with an incredible guitar builder, handsome gentleman right here, Ian Klosowiak. Got it?
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, brother. And these guitars, man, this Apollo is outrageous. So I just put up a quick first take demo video of it over the weekend, and people are some really cool feedback. But I mean, so I found you guys, I was looking for a nice ukulele.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
that's how I found you guys, because I love green and I wanted something that could take a beating, because when
Yeah.
I'm doing gigs, sometimes ukulele is hard to keep in tune because, just the bars and clubs are not very environmentally sound, and that's, a rougher instrument. But then when I saw these, I was like, oh my gosh, these guys do everything. So what got, I guess we'll start from the beginning and then we'll get into the instrument side of things. But what was your first musical experience where you were like, was it a concert? Was it a record? Was it a song? And you're like, music is what I want to be, my life.
Starting out, my parents signed me up for guitar lessons when I was 10 years old. And it was classical guitar. So it was all about reading notes, and I hated it. And my brother played violin since he was 3, and he had to play an hour every day before he can go play outside and all this stuff, And my parents are immigrants from Poland, hence our name Klosoviak. So they moved to America to have, the American dream. And so they took advantage of every opportunity, especially for us kids. So that included, violin lessons. I did violin when I was 3 too, but I didn't like it. So I actually started playing guitar in high school on my old classical guitar when my parents weren't home, because I didn't want them to know that I was playing, because if they did, they would have signed me up for lessons again. And so it was a secret thing for about a year. and I just loved it. My friend, it was a thing that I did for myself. No one else told me which songs to play, how long to practice. And it was awesome. Some of my friends in high school were way better than me, and I was just they were playing my favorite songs, and I was like, oh, that's freaking sick. I want to do that. So I would spend hours playing, and that was my first. That's kind of how I started playing guitar, and it was such a great thing for my mind as a teenager. Looking back, is so healthy to play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I find that, through the school here, we do in-person lessons, we do virtual lessons worldwide, and just having music in the lives of people, be it a young person or a full grown-up, it adds. It most definitely always adds as something to just get out whatever's inside of you. So I totally feel that. So at what point, we've all, gone through the different guitars out there and always look at something, me and my buddies, we nerd out over gear, and we're like, this is a cool guitar, but if they did this or they did that. So, from an entrepreneurial standpoint and just a musician standpoint, it's so inspiring and fascinating to get to talk to someone who actually took the steps to create his own guitar company. So what led you to that point?
Yeah. I started out with traveling. Our first model was a travel guitar. And I've always taken my nice wood guitars with me on my trips, whether it was camping or I'd go to Europe a lot because my whole family's still there. So I'd go there a lot. We'd go kayaking, and I'd jam it, in a garbage bag and stuff it in the kayak. And then, when you're on a campfire, everyone wants to play it, even if they know only a couple chords. And so this whole experience of, I want to play guitar and I want to share it and I want to take it everywhere with me, but I don't want it to get damaged. That was the first, I wanted a piece of gear. I didn't want a fancy guitar. I wanted a piece of gear. And so that's how it all started. I wanted to buy a carbon fiber guitar at Guitar Center, but it was a used one was $3,500.
Wow.
And so I was just I need that, but I can't afford it. And so when I was in college, I was studying mechanical engineering, and I always liked to tinker and build stuff. And my first job was a bike mechanic. So when I was 14, and I had to beg the owner to give me a job because I was so young. But I just love to tinker and build stuff. So yeah, I built my first one in an engineering class just for myself. And it was so much work that I promised myself I would never make another one. But then I took it with me on a long trip, and everyone who saw it or played it was like, what? They look at it, there's no brand on here. What brand makes this guitar? And after that, I just kept getting these feelings that, this is a good idea, like making a carbon fiber travel guitar that is practical and not a fancy piece of art,
Absolutely.
And that's how it all started. So, and that's this model right here, and it's still our best seller, actually. So it's a full scale length neck, but small body guitar, and so it feels like you're playing the full size guitar, but you stick it in your backpack.
I love that. I mean, that was honestly what drew me to the ukulele, and I'll pull it out again, like just something that could take a beating. Because when you're a gigging musician or a traveling musician, like same story for me. Like I used to be so afraid to bring guitars on trips with me recreationally that I would always find the closest guitar center to my hotel just to kind of scratch the itch of being able to play something, because I was afraid I would ruin it. And I had a bass player at the time who had a modulus, and he's like, dude, there's something about this carbon fiber. And I was like, no, wood. And then one of the guys who works for me has a different acoustic, I won't say the brand, but another carbon fiber, but it's just like obnoxiously expensive. So when I saw the price point and then the quality of the stuff you guys are putting out, I mean, you're onto something big, man. This is a home run. So awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
What so when you got into the electrics, because I'm an electric guy and I love the Fluence pickups, like what, from head to tail, what was the process in picking different, there's a lot of little nuances going on here. So, and I'm sure things I'm not even noticing. So teach me.
Yeah. So I actually always played electric guitar more than I played acoustic. But then whenever I'd go somewhere, hang out with friends, or go on a trip, I'd take my acoustic. But growing up, I always played more electric. And actually, I didn't really know what the knobs did for like years. I just knew what the volume does, and I didn't know what the switch did or anything. It was just volume, and that's it. And everything else I just wouldn't even touch. So, yeah, basically running down through the design. This is the standard series, the standard model. So I think you've got the Pro model.
Correct. Yeah, I got the extra knobs here.
Yeah, you've got the Pro model. This is the standard model. So price ranges from, I think, $1,200 to $1,700 or something like that. And the main thing was, the carbon neck, obviously, that's really important. But we wanted to make something that was very universal, but also customizable. And so I think starting out with the neck, carbon fiber, it's the way to go. Like, we've got the technology is getting cheaper. We've got it nailed, so why not make the neck out of carbon fiber and try to make it a main guitar, not only a boutique guitar or a rare type of guitar. So we want to bring carbon fiber into the electric guitar world as a standard instrument, not a travel guitar. This is not a travel guitar. It's a regular electric guitar that's also extremely reliable and durable, and the neck's not going to change on you or warp or whatever. So that's the main thing. We have, there's a truss rod, and that's for the purpose of adjusting your relief so that you can get exactly the action you want and all that. But it's not there for strength purposes, it's just there to adjust. The pick guard was the second most thing that I was just brainstorming all over the place. First, we didn't want to do a pick guard. So a lot of guitars with pick guards are, I don't know, I don't like plastic pick guards. they have little cracks after a couple years. The white kind of yellows,
Yep.
whatever. I'm not a big fan of pick guards, but I was like, if we can make a pick guard out of carbon fiber, it's gonna be premium, you know. So the other reason is with pick guards, if you have a different pick guard with different pickups or different knob configuration, especially on bass, a lot of different choices that people have and preferences. You don't have to make a whole new body. You just change the pick guard. And so we've got the custom pick guard process nailed. We've got a CNC where we can quickly cut out a pick guard for any pickups and any knob configuration. If you want extra switches or button or whatever, we can do that really easily without having to do the whole body. So I think engineering wise, a pick guard is one of the most innovative things that electric guitars have, but making it premium too, it's like a combination of two of both worlds, That's
Absolutely. And dude, people buy with their eyes, and that just looks aesthetically so sharp. I mean, it's because when you're looking at it dead on, you might miss what the neck is, but you're like, hey, what's that? What's that funky pattern? That looks like the hood of my friend's car. Oh no, wait, it's like you're drawing in something visually where you can then explain the technology. And I just think that's, again, very smart.
Yeah. So I'm also, obviously we're a factory. And so one of the most important things that in my mind was, if we're going to try to keep a price that's reasonable, we have to make the manufacturing very efficient. And so, when someone wants to order a standard model or a pro model or a custom model with custom pickups, like the neck's the same, the body's the same, we only do a different pick guard. And so it's really easy for us to have all the parts ready. And then when someone makes an order, we quickly put all the parts together. And so we level the neck and file the nut on the neck and do all of that for the neck. We do everything for the pick guard. We basically have a stack of each part. When someone makes an order, we quickly put together a custom order and we ship it within 2 days. And so I'm super happy with how that's working out. It took a long time to get the thought process and turn into reality, but it's working and people are getting custom preferences without having to go to a custom shop,
Yeah. I mean, when I was looking through everything and the ability, because everyone wants, especially when it's something that feels new and fresh, the ability to have access to it and then make it more your own. I think that's very attractive. And just little details like when this arrived for me last week, the neck is not on the body, which I didn't expect that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to set it up. It's gonna be this whole to do. And the way you had the capo holding everything down, 4 screws, no big deal. I put it together. I let it acclimate because it was cold outside. So I let it kind of, for a couple hours, slapped it together instantaneously. Intonation was perfect. Action was perfect. And my office fluctuates in temperature and still everything is just spot on. And I mean, I'm surrounded by various guitars at various price points and all wood. And they fight me every winter and every summer. Whereas this right out of the box was a home run.
Yeah.
So, very cool.
Yeah. And that makes us happy when we hear that. And we've tested it a million times. And yeah, sometimes people get frustrated initially, but then when they realize that it's pretty easy to assemble, it's really not a big deal. And the other thing is we want everyone to learn, how it's put together so that if they go to an airport and they have it fully assembled in their gig bag, but then the airline says, hey, like, you have to pay extra for that. You're like, no, I don't. You just take out the screwdriver that we send with every guitar. It's airline friendly and quickly take it apart in 3 minutes and you're good to go. So it's also the learning process of assembling, disassembling the guitar that we want people to experience.
Yeah. And again, super honest, when I saw it come in 2 pieces, I was afraid because I was like, I'm going to mess this up or it's going to be a whole to do. And then I was like, all right, calm down. I opened up the book and I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. And I love that little screwdriver. I love the branding on it. I love your logo. And I love that you put it everywhere because I'm a branding guy. I got Rob School of Music on every single thing I possibly can put it on. Usually even my sweatshirt, but all of them were dirty. So I got a different one today. But dude, it was so approachable. And again, like instant gratification, because not only was it easy to do, the guitar was so playable right out of the box.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten, you know, $4,000 custom shop strats that I fight for 2 weeks before they feel as good as this felt right away. And I'm not just saying
Awesome.
that is the honest truth, which is incredible.
That's great. Yeah, I'll make my coworkers and everyone on our team really happy to hear that. They're all guitar players, and they do a great job with every step, and they know what it's like to have a nut that's filed poorly or a buzz or whatever. So we do, you know, they put their heart into every part, and our final inspector Brian's just so great. He finds every tiny little thing, and yeah, every guitar that goes out the door has hours of a lot of heart put into it, and so it's good to hear that.
Yeah, totally. And even like I like the locking tuners. I like your headstock design. I was going again with I have like 3 friends. We're on a group chat. We're like the nerdiest guitarists ever, and it's like there's a handful of iconic headstock shapes, and like everyone tries to do something a bit different, and it's really hard to straddle that line between reinventing the wheel and just innovating the wheel. And this is just so cute and perfect. You can turn everything without anyone clunking into anyone, but it's like from a distance, like this is you. I know this is a KLOS guitar, and that's again really smart.
Yeah, it's the story behind the headstock is, you know, it's the same headstock shape that we use for our acoustic guitars, and very similar on our bass guitars and ukuleles. And I spent hours, you know, agonizing about every millimeter to, you know, so that the tuners aren't too close to your hand when you're playing on the first fret, and you still want the good tuning experience. And so like the distance between the tuners is the same distance on like a Strat 6 in a row, but it looks way smaller. You got way less neck dive. You know, the angle is like has the perfect string tension on the nut. It's just, you know, there's a lot of, you know, the strings are almost straight, which is great for tuning, so it stays in tune great. I analyzed so many headstocks out there, and we also wanted something a little different. But you know, some people don't like the headstock at first. It takes them a little bit of time to get used to. But once your eyes have spent a little time on it, people don't mind it at all. And when it comes to engineering, it's as optimized as it can get, really.
That's what I think is cool about it. You know, like I'm circling back to a lot of the same things, because I'm like, I'm passionate about passion. It's such a silly thing to say, but like, it's so obvious that you care about every little detail. And every time you say something new and explain the backstory to it, it makes me even more in love with it, because there's reasons. Everything has a reason. Nothing is haphazard. So on the Pro models, you're using a ash body.
So Pro models can either have ash or the Okuma, which is very similar to mahogany.
Okay.
And some people, this right here is the ash model. And so yeah, it is heavier. I forget how many. I think it's like 1.5 pounds heavier. So for people who don't mind having, you know, a heavy axe, you know, it's great. But for someone who wants something a little bit lighter, like me personally, I like the weight of mahogany and Okuma more. But yeah, you have the option, and so yeah, with the Pro model, basically, I can run through kind of the differences.
Sure, yeah.
So the stuff that's standard, obviously, the pick guard, the neck is the same on every model. The things that are different, starting at the head, the tuners, you've got locking. These are just standard OEM tuners, still a great quality. You've got the Graphtec nut, which you've probably heard of. Graphtec Tusk, New Bone XB, great nut. You've got on the Pro model, you've got coated D'Addario strings, so a bit longer life. On the Pro model, you can either have Fishman pickups or you can have the KLOS pickups. And personally, I love our KLOS pickups. They're just like they're passive, but they have such a great sound. If we've got some demos online and stuff, but they've just got such a versatility, and the Fishmen are awesome too. But I'm the kind of person where I like to have the simplicity of just a couple knobs and that's it.
Right.
So for those people that want the Fishman, they're incredible. They're great for recording. The single coil on the Fishman sound like true single coil, and like they're great for recording. It's just such a clean sound and versatile. So yeah, the Pro model you can choose. The knobs on yours are aluminum, which I was really excited about getting those. We got those custom machined, and they're just, one, they're light, and two, I think they look really cool.
Yes.
These are just standard steel knobs. On your Pro model, you've got an aluminum bridge with brass saddles, which is actually really cool because brass is known to have like the best sustain.
Absolutely.
And so basically as good of a sustain as you can get, you're getting on that bridge. And then the bridge block is made out of aluminum on the Pro model. So you've got the lightweight, where with a steel bridge, you know, it's a little bit heavier. We still use a great quality bridge on the standard model, but the Pro model I custom designed and got it machined and everything and plated really professionally. So that bridge is just awesome. One of the cool things with the bridge too is we can install tremolo bridges too. So we just take one of our bodies and we cut the pockets out to install a tremolo. So that's also an option if someone does want that. Most people we've learned that have a tremolo use it like less than once a year. So so we wanted to have that option, but not make it a standard thing. And then yeah, what else? One of the that's basically what it comes down to with the Pro and the standard. The Pro also comes with our gig bag, which is awesome. I've put a lot of time into that design too. The gig bag basically folds in, so you can collapse the gig bag so it holds onto the guitar when the neck is detached, but also folds out so that you can use the same gig bag when it's just fully assembled. So awesome design there. We use really high quality like camping style backpack material. And the other thing is with carbon fiber, you don't have to have a hard case because your guitar is already more durable. So having a soft case is the way, you know, we wanted to go, and that's really what you need for most purposes. So yeah, and then I want to talk about the body a little bit. So yeah, it looks like a Strat style body, and I played a Strat growing up, and I loved it. There are actually a handful of little things that I didn't like, and that's what I implemented in this design. One, this I don't know if you could see it, but there's a contour right here.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go all the way up to the top horn because when I practice at home, I use a strap and it's right here against my chest.
Sure.
And so I love how it's just a little smoother there. Really small thing, small detail, but I like it. Has the nice round contour on the heel joint. Makes it feel like you know, like your thumb's not in the way when you're playing the higher frets. Also, it's pretty cool that our neck at the heel, you can't really see it, but it's the same thickness all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't feel like there's a heel on the neck when you're playing up higher. So so yeah, the other cool thing is, well, I'm gonna just mention this real quick. So I've got a 24 fret neck right here.
Notice that. You've
got a 22. So yours is a 24 3/4 scale length. This is a 25 1/2. So we've got that option of customability as well. So if someone wants a certain neck, you know, we cut the neck pocket for that neck the day they order it, and they get that neck. Anyway, going back to the body, a couple other things. I made this horn longer so that you've got a little bit of a better strap position.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a bass guitar, the horns are really long for bass guitars, so you got a really good strap position. I made this lower horn a little bit shorter so that when you're playing on your knee, it's a little bit more balanced, and also so that you have better access to the higher frets. So this whole part right here is set back a tiny bit, but not enough to lose the balance. So it's perfectly balanced when you play on your knee. Doesn't get any neck dive when you're playing on your knee. so yeah, those are the main differences that I put into the body. The other cool thing is that basically all the wood underneath the pickguard is hollowed out, so it makes the whole guitar a little bit lighter there too. So yeah, that's basically the design. And the custom abilities there's quite a few of them. So we also have a ton of different colors. So
yeah, I want to get into colors in a second, but just some of the stuff you said, like as I was playing it over the weekend after, because again, I shot this video, I just wanted to like first take, hot take, let's shoot a rhythm track, rip a solo and talk about how I felt about it because it was genuine and real. But the more I played with it, little things like that extra cutaway here, like that's a big difference. And it's like, I love the ingenuity to say, well, why don't other people do that? Oh, because they don't have to. They're set, it's like these frozen things that are just what they are and they don't have to grow or change or innovate. But something as simple as that makes it so much more comfortable. And I did it with the strap up here and I was feeling it just straight against my chest. So, and then the heel joint, super comfortable. You're totally right there. I noticed yours was 24. You ever have any interest if someone wanted a baritone? Is that feasible if they wanted?
Yeah, I mean, right now we don't offer that, but it's hard to take an idea and turn it into a product that you can sell daily on your website, or to stores. We've been recently working with retail stores.
Oh yeah.
And they love our instruments and they're selling pretty well. And so we're planning on getting a lot more stores this year. My brother Adam's my business partner, and we work really well together. He's totally nailing the retail side of things. So that's kind of how we split the company up. He does a lot of marketing, sales, business strategy, and then I do all the supply chain, design, and I basically help. We've got a manager. His name is George. He runs the manufacturing team, and so I work very closely with the manufacturing team. So that's kind of how we split it up.
Very cool. You started to mention the colors also, like all the colors look super sharp. I'm just scrolling through them on the website as we're talking here. Like the natural finishes pop with the pick guard, that brown color looks good. Thinking about sunbursts or anything down the road?
Maybe. I try to keep it simple. We want to have a lot of variety. But when it comes to supply chain, if we have too many options, then we are putting so much money into ordering all these materials to have all these options.
Sure.
That we're kind of, so I think once, these guitars are very early in their life. So I think as we sell more and more of them, the options are only going to get better and there's going to be more of them. But yeah, I think overall, like if someone wants one of these guitars, then right now they've got some pretty good options when it comes to colors. And,
completely.
So
completely. I mean, I'm literally carouseling through the whole gamut of them. And when I was picking this color, I thought this would be awesome, but the one you have looks really good. And then the red one looks really good. Like it's everything you'd probably want. And I think it's really important too, for anyone who's watching this, like to get in now, because I think you guys are going to explode in a really good way.
Thank you.
So it's exciting to kind of get to chat with you and get to know you and experience this and get to demo it. And I'm really appreciative for that opportunity, because it's like getting on something right before something big happens,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, we're at the point in the company, starting the company, we started almost exactly seven years ago. And it's honestly such a struggle to start a company. And there's so many hoops that you have to jump through to be successful. And there's a lot of moments where you're just about to fail, but then you really put your heart into the work and you're able to overcome those challenges. And there were so many moments like that. And each moment we learned, we grew, we got better. And, but yeah, it's hard to run a manufacturing company in the US, especially because it's hard to even find parts and materials. But yeah, it's going so well, and thanks to people like you, like I love meeting musicians and people who are just in the music industry that, you are naturally just passionate about what they're doing.
Mhm.
And it's stuff like this that I think we're helping each other out to talk and have good experiences and have an audience that appreciates these experiences and likes to be part of it. And it's just like, it's such a great thing.
Absolutely. And like I plan on using this on various, demo videos and things like that. So this is 100% in the arsenal now. So I'm really psyched for that. I want to pivot real quick here into my my grand finale of questions here, if that's all right with you. Some
Yeah.
some fun loosey goosey stuff. And then at the end, I'll throw a link when this goes back up, where people can find everything about these guitars and the code you guys gave me here. So if people want to get a little help on it, but I mean, this stuff is super affordable to begin with, and the quality is absolutely outrageous. So I'm psyched. All right, my friend, here we go. It's a series of this or that questions, one or the other, preferably pick one. Try not to say both, though the answer to both is probably really both. All music related stuff, nothing heavy or political. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Humbucker or single coil?
Humbucker.
All right. Tremolo or non-trem?
Non-tremolo.
All right. 22 or 24 frets?
22 fret because it's strings a little bit less tension.
Okay.
Or sorry, actually 22 frets on our model because it is smaller scale length, the 24 3/4 Gibson scale length. But also I rarely go up those frets. But when I do, it's usually not because I'm tinkering or whatever. It's because I'm playing a song that I learned or whatever,
Right. Oh yeah, totally. Okay, if you're grabbing for your guitar pick, you want a thin pick or a medium or like a heavier one?
Pretty thin pick. I forget the size. I think it's 0.6.
Okay.
I forget.
That's all right. That's okay. For your strings, personally, you like 9s, 10s, or 11s?
10s.
Cool. Let's see here. All right, so some amplifier stuff. Okay, if you're going for your amp, do you prefer to get the gain from the amp, or you want like a pedal to push it?
I do have a pedal that I really like, but I usually play clean when I'm just practicing, and so yeah.
Okay. All right. For your amplifier, this is extra like deep nerdy stuff. You prefer a 6L6 tube or an EL34?
I think like when it comes to amps, I'm not that picky, and as long as I get a good sound, for me, I mostly focus on when I'm playing. But
Right.
I have a tube amp that I don't play that often, and I end up using my little amp in my room, my office, that I use the most. And so, but yeah, obviously when you're playing with friends or whatever, then yeah, it's
Totally. I mean, I got a Soldano SLO 100 sitting behind me.
Yeah.
Over here, you can't see it, but I can't get it past like 1.5 without blowing my face off. So it's just like, I'll just go into the fractal and just control the volume and just deal with it, or just like a little like what I call the Blues Junior, like little Fender. It's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with amps is if you're gonna get a heavy amp, you're gonna need a garage to try it out at its full peak.
Right. All right. Some effects questions and a few band questions. You're surviving so far, so thank you for playing my ridiculous game. If you could only choose delay or reverb, what would you choose?
Reverb.
All right. If you had to pick between a fuzz pedal or an overdrive pedal, like a fuzz face or a tube screamer?
Overdrive for sure.
Cool. That's the right answer, I think. Phaser or chorus?
Probably chorus.
Cool. That's a funny question because neither of those sounds are super cool right now. But like when I first started playing, like I was like, oh my God, phaser. And then Zach Wild chorus, Okay. And then a few band questions. Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
All right. Then is it John or Paul?
John.
Okay. Bowie or Dylan?
Dylan.
Zeppelin or Floyd?
Zeppelin.
All right. If you had to pick a Pink Floyd record, would it be Dark Side or The Wall?
The Wall.
I think The Wall too. Everyone says Dark Side. That's just jumping on the bandwagon. The Wall has so much more to unpack there.
I had their tab book, and the Wall Tab book when I was a kid, so there's a lot of history there. So,
dude, totally. Run Like Hell. I mean, with getting the perfect delay setting. Oh my God, I can nerd out there. Okay, and then the last one, because I'm a '90s guy: Pearl Jam or Nirvana.
I think Pearl Jam is more talented, but Nirvana is I've definitely listened to them more. So Nirvana.
Yeah, that is probably the most educated answer I've gotten to that question. People get very passionate one way or the other. I'm a Pearl Jam guy, though recently I just found Nirvana. I'm like, wow, I missed something. I really missed something here. But like people are just like, no, it's one or the other. But I think you answered it probably accurately.
Awesome.
All right, dude. Well, those are my questions. I really appreciate your time here. I love this instrument. I'm going to be using it. You'll see it in many more videos, and I'm going to be pushing on everyone I know. And this video will stay up on YouTube. There'll be a good podcast out of it. I'll send you all the links and everything. But thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, could I say just a couple more words?
Say as much as you want, man. We got all the time.
Yeah.
Go.
Just, to the audience, if you guys have questions about our guitars, anything customizable, whatever. If you have any ideas for future designs, we're always taking notes on other cool things. So even if you, Rob, have some ideas, feedback, whatever, we're very open to the new ideas. Yeah. Also, my manager brought in a bunch of our other instruments. We've got the ukuleles here. We've got our bass guitars.
So the bass is similar to this, right? It's a similar kind of.
Oh yeah. Very similar. Obviously, there's a lot of different preferences that are more important for bass or whatever. So, our basses are awesome. They're getting great feedback from some really, really good bass players. We've got our full-size guitar that is an acoustic, basically regular size dreadnought, and then we've got our travel. And one of the other cool things that we've done recently is, let me show you real quick. All right.
Yeah, I think one of those
acoustics. You're gonna be stoked about this 8-string ukulele. So one of our manufacturing employees made one just for fun, and we ended up making them in bulk too. So that just fell over.
See, but it can take a hit.
It's all right. So anyway, yeah, thanks for your time, and it's been great chatting with you. And yeah, have fun with that guitar.
Absolutely, dude. And yeah, I'm thinking one of those acoustics is going to be my next one. So be on the lookout for an order.
Awesome. Well, let's stay in touch. All right.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Be well.